Hi. Hello, my friend. This is your boy, Colton Havens. How do you build your brand online? Stick with me here, my friend, because it's not your logo. It's not the things that you sell. I'm going to have some notes here that I'm going to look down on because I want to make sure that I'm going to go over everything that we need to go over because this is going to be very important. Because if you know that building your brand online is important, this video is specifically for you. So a lot of the times people are like, I don't know where to start with a brand. I don't know what to talk about. I don't even know what to sell. And I'm going to cover those things in this video if you're starting from square one, or if you already have a brand online and you're wanting to grow it to astronomical, okay, or just grow it in, growing takes time and it takes simple steps to get to different heights, okay? So we're going to go over that today. I'm super, super excited for this because it's a super important fundamental skill that we have to develop as an owner in order to sell or build our brand online. Okay, you guys ready for it? Is tell your story. Your story is your brand. So let me give you some good examples of how this actually works. Steve Jobs is a great example. Okay, until Steve Jobs actually got up there and started to tell his story, Apple wasn't quite Apple. Okay, Walt Disney is one of the best at telling stories. Is why they're almost $1 trillion company, is because of the way they are able to tell stories. Okay, you got Cinderella, you got Tangled, you got Frozen 2, okay? You got Lilo and Stitch. They're able to tell stories that are relatable, and we put ourselves in those shoes, okay? Stories are so powerful because our mind doesn't know what's real or fake, our subconscious mind. And when we tell something in a story, humans being the selfish creatures we are, what's in it for me, we always put ourselves in their shoes in a form of a story. There's an old cliche saying, facts tell, stories sell. How many of you guys have ever heard that before? Okay, so telling your story, you haven't quite told your story. Now, we're going to go further into depth on actually how to tell your story, but I want you guys to understand that there's a few things of why we tell a story. The three things that your story is going to give you. Number one, okay, is no one can take it away from you. Okay, when you build your brand is your story. Okay, when I first started online, look, I was working in the mall. I was selling family pictures, 19 portraits, $20. Okay, I was actually, before I got to that point, I was at negative $500 in my bank account working at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was out looking. I'm like, look, dude, you guys know who's hiring? I learn fast and I work hard. Who's hiring? I learn fast and I work hard. Who's hiring? I learn fast and I work hard. And I got a job interview, not knowing it was sales. I show up to the mall, and I'm looking at my bank account. It says negative $500 in my bank account on my interview day. So I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even know sales was an actual career that you could pursue or earn money in. Turns out it's the number one that you can earn the most money in the entire world. Okay, sales is the number one industry to make the most money. Okay, so once you start out there, building your business becomes a lot easier. So anyway, so got off track. So when I'm going there, I'm doing sales, right? And then he gives me the $20 that I made from talking to somebody in the mall. And he goes, I go, here's the $20. And he goes, no, you keep that. That's how you get paid. I was like, dude, you're going to pay me to talk to people? He goes, yes. I was like, awesome. And then I started going. Long story short, after about a year or two, I was there for about 5 years or more, and became the number one sales rep in the country. Okay, or at least at the top. Okay, me and this other guy battled a lot for number one. So with that, I went through a lot of trial and error. Okay, through a lot of personal growth. But I realized if I stopped selling, the money stopped too. And I needed something. It didn't matter how much money I made. If I stopped working, the money would stop too. Even though I could make way more than the average person working hourly, I would still rely on me to make the money at the end of the day. So I started looking for other things, and then I flew out to Florida to go to this event of an online company. I actually met my good business partner, Jason, here on this. You'll see him in and out. You guys probably already met him, right? But when I went out there specifically looking for the one thing that I needed to do every day to create money, to create results in my online business. Okay. And when I went out there, I mean, it was hot. I was humid. I was late because I missed my first flight at like 4 in the morning because I was trying to buy a cheap one. And I had left my sales company, by the way, at this time. So I was running short on money because I didn't want to have to sell and work and work and work the rest of my life in order to just survive and live and pay rent. I wanted to be able to thrive. I wanted all my bills to be paid for, my car note be paid for, and I still have extra money and didn't have to even think about the day-to-day things that you need to survive. Okay, and that's why I was going. I had that in my mind. I was focused. What was the one thing I needed to do? Because in sales, all I had to do was focus on creating the sale, talking to more people. That was the focus. I would end up with more money at the end of the day. So the business philosophies carry over onto the online. What's the one thing I got to do every single day in the online to create more income? And I found out it was create a video a day. But what I missed that was super important in my first years of building online, it was telling my story in the videos. Because number one, people cannot take away your story. So even if I decided that Six Figure Profit wasn't where I wanted to be, I could simply go and change my industry, and that would be a growth story in and of itself that I would tell to bring people over to me. Okay, I'm not going to do that, but I'm just giving you guys an example, because when you tell stories, your story becomes an asset. It becomes a thing that sells and creates income for you, and no one can ever take it away. Like when this first industry started, a lot of people were making buttloads of money on Google AdWords. And then Google was like, hey, I'm going to change the algorithm. Boom. Bunch of people's businesses were swept out from underneath them. But if they would have started with a story, they would have developed, they would have created a following of people that know, like, and trust them, that would have just followed them over to different platforms. If Facebook decides to shut down, okay, or YouTube decides to shut down, your asset is still your story. Okay, you can just simply go start your story and build your brand again. Okay, and if you've already been doing this, you already have people that will follow you into different industries, whether or not, because they know you, they know your story. Okay, so one, it can never be taken away from you. Okay, the second thing is okay, you could. Oh, no one can change your story. So that's the second thing. No one can change your story besides you. And the story that we're telling ourselves in our head is the reason why we don't take action. So let me give you an example. I want to build this. I want to build my brand online, Colton. I see that it's important, but I don't know how to do X, Y, Z. That's the story you're telling yourself that stops you from taking action. Now, that same story is what your customers are telling themselves for not buying your product. So, for example, okay, well, there's a video course right here that's going to show me how to tell my story better. But, I don't have a very good story anyways. I don't know how many people are going to listen to me. Now, that story that you just told yourself is the only thing stopping you from taking actions to better your life. So now you just need to rewrite the story when you talk to yourself, right? So if someone like Dave Sharp can tell his story and earn billions of dollars or millions and billions of dollars, okay, just simply telling his story and creating an entire business around it. And he started from the very bottom, and that's where I'm at right now. So if you're telling me if all I need to do is tell my story, I can eventually get to where you are. Yes. Okay. What do I need to do? So just by simply changing the story that we tell ourselves, we can change the results and the way that we see the problems as well. Okay. So your story is one big story filled up with a bunch of mini stories, okay, that you can tell to help other people, okay? If you're not telling your story, you're stealing other people's greatness. There is someone out there that needs to hear your struggles, your tribulations. Your mess becomes your message, okay? Look, you don't always got to be broke. If your needle is in the red and you want it to go to the green, simply tell a better story. Okay, this comes with practice. This isn't a here for now and gone tomorrow type thing. This is going to be, once you get it down, this is the story you're going to tell for the rest of your life. When you get on stages, when you make your YouTube videos, your Facebook Live videos, This story is what's going to resonate with people to go, dude, you know what? I understand where he's coming from. That's a lot like me. Huh, what else does he have for me? Because we're all selfish, okay? But that's just how it works. So you play off of that, okay? Your story becomes your biggest asset once you start speaking it into existence, once you start telling it out loud, okay? Your story is your brand. If you want to create a brand online, you need to tell better stories. Now, if you want to learn the actual skills to tell better stories inside the stores, now I'm just kind of going over why it's important to tell better stories. My number one recommended business model is down below. Go and get it because it's going to literally teach you how to tell your story and influence people, influence the masses to take action on your product, your service. Okay, if you truly are out there helping people, your story is going to be what's authentic, never changing, and people know, like, and trust you. Okay, that creates a know, like, and trust. You don't buy from people that you don't like or trust, but you're not willing, but you have to be willing to create trust and likability, and that comes from simply telling your story. What was your biggest takeaways from this? What did you not like? What did you like of this video? Leave it in the comments, please, because I want to structure these videos better specifically for you. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys want more of this, because I'm going to bring more storytelling formulas and how to actually get your whole life message and your whole life mess and make it a message worth sharing. Okay, so I love you guys. Peace. sixfigureprofit.com. Make sure you subscribe, and the number one business recommended is below. We also have a 5-day challenge, how to turn your passion into income. It's a group of like-minded individuals that are posting their videos and gets likes, comments, and shares before you even post publicly. So that way you can boost your algorithm on Facebook, YouTube. So just join the group down below. It's free to join. But there's going to be a lot of insights. You can get on the phone with Jason and I. We can go over deeper things. But it's a great place to be with a lot like-minded people. Okay, love y'all. Peace.